Good morning, my friends. Welcome to today's ad-free live stream. If you're new here, my name's Tyler, and I'm going to be here to help navigate this wild world of day trading for you. So during these live streams, you can expect to see live price action. I'll share my trading bias, and I'll be doing real-time trades just to give you a front row seat into the action. No fluff, just the good stuff. If you're watching after the stream, you can jump to the key moments by running to the timeline. I'll put chapters on there by the end of this stream for you to go through, and you can identify where you want to watch and where the important moments are. And then lastly, for those that are ready to make a next step in their trading and want to start their funded journey, we have a discount 80% off code DTJ for Apex to get your funded journey started if you want to use that. If you don't use it, don't use it. It's there for you to consider using. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. We're about 9 minutes before. I want to open in prayer and just bless the day. So, Father, we just thank you for an amazing day. Father, I thank you that we have the opportunity to make money as day traders. And, Father, that we have the ability to produce well. Today, we receive what you have for us out of the market. Father, we're not greedy. We're not going to be anxious, but we receive what you have for us, Father. We come against any spirit of doubt, selfish ambition, or greed. And Father, we just declare that you are the King. You provide all that we need. So Father, we thank you for today. In Jesus' name, amen. That is it. That is how I like to get started, honoring the Lord in what I do. And now we're going to get going into a higher time frame analysis, looking at the market, trying to figure out, hey, we had a crazy last week. Let's see what this week has for us. And so we're going to look and we're going to get into that. Good morning, Ted. Glad you're here. We did have a great weekend. We played some football this weekend. We watched some football this weekend. I worked on some solar panels this weekend. Overall, I'd say it was a good day. It was a good weekend, I should say. Now let's we got news at 9:45. Let me show here, screen share. There it is. All right, so here's our calendar for the week. Let's get a whole week analysis, basically get a weekly profile of what we could expect. So Monday, 9:45, we have flash PMI or PMI services. On Tuesday, we got light news. We got the composite 20 HPI year over year. Not very much at 9 o'clock. And then on Wednesday, we got new home sales on Wednesday. On Thursday, we got unemployment claims. So Thursday is going to be a big day at 8:30. And then Friday, we got core PCE, the price index, at 8:30 on Friday. So we can expect a big end of week this week. Thursday and Friday are going to be bigger with unemployment claims and core price index. Those are going to be some big events at the end of the week. So if that's at the end of the week and we're light this week, we could expect some type of Thursday reversal, meaning we consolidate at the beginning of the week. Maybe we move higher midweek, and then we reverse by Thursday and Friday. That's an option. But let's move into the charts and let's see what kind of weekly profile we could see. We're not going to be making any trades before 9:45 because we do have that news dropping at 9:45. It's not major news, but I mean it's red folder news, so it's flash service in PMI, flash services PMI, manufacturing PMI as well. So let's zoom out. let's zoom out. Let's start with the weekly. Let's take a look at the weekly here, okay? This is what we're looking at on the weekly. If you want to match these as far as what I have on the charts, you're welcome to drop these as well. Okay, so this is the current week. This was last week. We have no fair value gap. We filled this fair value gap here, and then we have on sitting above the monthly buy side liquidity. This is the month of August. This is the high in the month of August. We have buy side liquidity, and then we have a fair value gap sitting here. So these are a potential draw on liquidity in itself if we want to move higher. If we don't want to move higher and we are in fact bearish, which our news, FOMC just released that they are dropping rates by 50 points. That's huge. That means the economy is really bad. That's really what it means. So it just blows my mind that we're seeing the stock market the way it is. But we could hit this buy side liquidity on the monthly and this weekly BISI here. Let's drop down to the daily. On a daily perspective, we filled in the fair value gap that would have been right here by Friday's candle. Friday ended up bearish, but really kind of ended at its high above these equal highs that we've been targeting for the last, it seems like, month. September 1st. August 27th was August 28th. So we have these equal highs that we want to see if they want to find support here to move higher. And then the target would be the monthly buy side liquidity and maybe reaching into the weekly volume imbalance. Now that is 250. That's almost 100 points from this high to the weekly volume imbalance. So we'll see if it wants to make that stretch. We have our new week opening gap sitting right here. I always have that on the charts. That will be a draw on liquidity typically in the first day that it's there, and it's referenced throughout the rest of the week. So we drop down to the 4 hour here. Here is the volume imbalance sitting right here, and here is midnight open price. This is the consequent encroachment of that weekly wick that I referenced before. So that's sitting here. We see price respect it here. We did reach down into this small volume imbalance already. So the only thing we really have here is this, our current swing low. That's for Friday. That's a data candle. Where's my sell side liquidity? There it is. All right, 1 minute till open. 42 seconds. Let's see if we can get down and drop down into there. Okay, volume. Here's our weekly new week opening gap. Again, we have some fair value gaps sitting here on the hourly. I think I'm interested in a little bit of a push up to these levels. Wick higher. We're gonna have some resistance right here with this new day opening gap and the previous week opening gap, or the new week opening gap is sitting here. All right, let's drop down to the 1 minute. We got open. All right, here's open. Mark our 9:30 opening price. And then we will fill we want to mark this out as well. This is our opening range gap. Now, it's not too big of a gap. It's 80 handles. I'm looking for this close right here to this swing high. Doubt it's going to give it to us because we still got a full 42 seconds left on the candle. I will be executing on some minis. I want to work on taking more TPs and not just taking a single pull. So I'll be jumping over to a minis chart for any executions. I'll share those with you guys. Good morning, Deborah. How are you doing today? Volume and fair value gap right here. Do I have that? There's our new week opening gap and our opening range gap, the midpoint of it. We're sitting right there. I do try to see if I can capitalize on this drop, but we really didn't have a potential entry for me. You saw a breaker on the 5-minute, but I didn't like this wick. Pretty large wick, and it's not too large. But I'm cautious now of this being filled. It could bounce. It could continue. I mean, it very common to fill, but this is a bouncing point. That sounds very professional, doesn't it? It's an area of rejection. That's what I see this as, an area of rejection. This also could be an area of rejection where you could get filled for a further short if you think momentum is moving lower. Now, I'm not convinced on either one. I just feel like it would be a little bit of a gamble, so I'm not necessarily going to take it. I'm going to be a little patient in my decision making here. It has reacted to this fair value gap quite nicely. This right here is our opening fair value gap. How's everybody else doing this morning? How we doing this morning? Deborah, I'm doing well. Excited to get back into the saddle for trading. That's nice. Dale, nice. I'm glad you're doing well. I am as well. Weekend was good. It finally got fall weather. It's finally getting cold out. September, the beginning of the fall, September 21st, it's like boom. It started getting a little chilly. So it's football weather. I enjoy it, but it just tells me that winter is right around the corner. I'm not a fan of winter. Oh, and the other thing is my wife vetoed my mustache, if you can tell. My wife said it needs to be taken off. She won that battle. I'm okay with that. It was fun while it lasted. I think I got 3 weeks out of it. 2.5 weeks. Okay, so if you notice that the only fair value gap is this and everything else has been eaten up. So these are just, remember what Friday was like? Do you guys remember that? Nasty price action. It wasn't nasty, but it had these big wicking, big candles. Okay, so we're gonna wait. We don't want to play in stuff that doesn't give us fair value gaps. Okay, so if we get aggressive and we close above this, I will play that to this high, and I will be doing that on this account right here. This is a micro account. That's what I'll be executing on. Now, for those of you joining that are like, well, why are you on 2 different charts? Well, if you look right here, this is a micro account. Micro accounts are basically a mini version of the regular Nasdaq. And you don't do your analysis on charts like this. You can't do your analysis. You want to do your analysis on the Nasdaq, NQZ 2024. That is where you do your analysis, and then you do your executions based on what you see here. So we'll be watching this chart, and then when I jump into a trade, that's when we'll be jumping over to the micro, if you guys want to see that execution. Okay, but I'll probably be watching this while I'm hitting the execution, but because I want you to see what I'm watching, not necessarily what I'm getting into. I'll tell you if I'm getting into the trade or not. And I can tell you, I like this. If it closes above this, I probably will take it to this high. And then try to wait, maybe even hold it to these highs. There's some equal highs that are sitting way over here. I'm seeing that now. There's equal highs right there. Okay, so we have equal highs. Yeah, I watched it the last quarter. I had other stuff to do. Just hanging out with the family. My wife isn't a giant football fan. So when we have 2 kid football games in the morning. Watching football then in the afternoon is just like, holy cow. It's just overwhelming for my wife. So didn't really watch any football yesterday. And I really don't like, I only watch the Chiefs really. My kids really like them. We live close to Kansas City. In relatively close compared to where you all are from. So the other thing that you guys are going to notice on the bottom, I was debating this. We got 30 seconds. Let's see if this pops right here. I'll talk about that thing here in a second. Missouri. So, you're close, Dale. Awesome. Where in Missouri? What city? I'm in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska. Columbia. Yeah, I had some family that lived in Columbia. They moved, recently moved from Columbia down to, or over to Kansas City. All right, so since that rejected and it's not closing, we're going to still keep an eye on this. But on the bottom, you guys will see, let me jump over to the screen share here. Right here, I was debating on if I wanted to monetize my channel, and I still haven't monetized any of it, but I really wanted to allow for, not necessarily, I wanted to allow for stickers and super chats for anybody that wanted to do it. So these are now available. I'm still deciding if I want to monetize. If I'm honest, I'm leaning towards no, and monetize through other ways, like just putting together like a community Discord or stuff like that, and keeping this ad free, because ads are annoying. And if you don't have YouTube Premium, I highly recommend it. It's the best thing I've ever done. It keeps all ads off YouTube. And with my kids, I got 3 boys, I don't want ads playing when they're watching Dude Perfect or they're watching something else. That's the last thing I want them to be exposed to, somebody trying to sell them something or an inappropriate or risque type commercial. So YouTube Premium eliminates all of that, and it's $14 a month, but it's worth it for me. I can't tell you the last time I've watched a commercial. I forgot how often they were because I was testing it out. So I did like an incognito window and went on YouTube just to see how many commercials they would show up on live stream. And it's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. Do you know how many ads show up on live streams? It's like every 7 minutes or something like that. 7-8 minutes. Isn't that the case? I don't know how, what your guys just watching TV ads is bad enough. I know. But I'm like, do I want to put ads on my content? Like, I know there's value in it, monetary value. And maybe that changes if I explode, but right now I'm just like, I'm okay with not doing it. See how it's like indecisive what it wants to do here? It's just sitting between these two imbalances, just kind of going back and forth, and then this very first fair value gap. There hasn't been a single other fair value gap. Just noting, this is stuff you want to keep track of. And it honestly is probably better for you guys not to take a trade right off of open and be so, enticed by the volume. We didn't take any trades, but when you see big candles like this and you have draws on liquidity, you get enticed like, I don't want to miss it. But then if you set a rule to where you wait the first 10, 15 minutes, 15 minutes is here in 19 seconds. If you wait first 15 minutes, then you get to see, what do the candles look like? Oh, only one fair value gap? Everything else is crap? I'm glad I didn't take anything anyway, right? It saves you on a potential loss. That's how I would view it. All right, so this could be aggressive. That's the 9:45 news candle. Okay, that's 9:45 news. That's what we were waiting for, remember? I forgot that we were waiting for that. The candle told me. The candle opened my eyes. It was like, what was that? Okay, so now at this point, I think we're going to begin to push higher. I'm going to take a long right there, right above the open. Yes, it's a little early, but I'm taking a small. I didn't take a full position. Let's see if it wants to go or not. It wicked right below 930. The trade idea will be when it closes above this. Okay, it did not close. It looked like it was going to be there, but it did not. Still watching this. Not a fair value gap yet. If I'm honest, I really thought that we were going to close above that. So now I'm in a little bit of a pinch. I could see his reject there too. So I'm still holding that, as you guys can see. I told you I got in a small position, so 5 micros. Let's see if we can close above this fair value gap. Jump back over to the micro or the regular screen because that's where I'm doing my analysis. Okay, so there's the. Let's see if it closes above. No close above. Still no close. This is what I was afraid of, is that it just runs without us towards these equal highs, and that's the main reason why I wanted to get in and along. It just, I had to deal with 25 handles of drawdown. Okay, made equal highs here. I want to see this candle close above. Now at this point, I am going to put my stop to break even. I'm not going to let that go negative on me. But I'm looking towards this high as far as a target. I'll take off 2 here just to be wise. In case it wants to stop me out, which very possible. It just wicked at 930. It just tapped the 930 price. That's very a good sign by rejecting it right there. That will run these highs, if not towards these equal highs sitting right there. Okay, so those are my equal highs that I'm targeting. I'm going to sell 1 right there. So I'm down to 2 contracts left. Okay, let's see if we reject this. I would like to see us push through it. I'm going to sell 1 more there. I'm going to hold 1 more micro. I'm going to hold the final micro to break even and see if it wants to move any higher. Total, that was 100 handles. Excuse me, 100 ticks. So about 25 handles is what I got on 5 contracts. Or 5 micro contracts. It didn't give me an entry right off of the first fair value gap because of where it closed, way high. I just wasn't a fan of that, and the main reason why I got in before, I'm like, oh, it's gonna close 945 price. I really believe the draw on liquidity is higher, and I'm looking at this 930 price, and that's where it was going. This 930 price, boom, right there. That's where I think we're gonna go. Is once we hit that, we bounce and begin to move higher. Now I'm probably gonna get stopped out here. Okay, we wicked into this fair value gap. Do we run through it? Looks like we will. And there's about to get stopped out. There's a stop out right there. All right. So last micro contract was stopped out in profit. We tagged the equal highs, which is what my target was. That's why I sold both. That's why I was pretty heavy on selling that. All right, so we just filled this volume imbalance under the 930 price. This is an entry for a short. It should be. Let's see if it wants to actually do that or not. See if it comes up, respects the 930 price, or if we just push right through it. 930 price is not supposed to be it's a reference point. That's all I use it as, is a reference point and looking at what else is around it. You like how it came all the way back down? It's like, hey, let's hit the stop loss and then we'll go higher. These big wicky candles are not very fun to play with. They're very hard to trade. I'm not saying it's easy at all. I'm grateful that we came out ahead on that. We still have midnight opening price that's sitting up here. This is midnight. We did a lot of back and forth, I'll tell you that much. London is, where's London? Is that the London high? No. That's yesterday's, okay. If I'm honest, I want to see this fair value gap find support and we continue to move higher. The problem is there's not a fair value gap for me to take as far as an entry. We do have a breaker right here, but this is also a data candle, 945. So we might actually run this low, actually. Data lows and highs typically get ran. Sorry, I haven't been looking at anybody's messages. Let's see here. Columbia Premium is awesome. Just watch the TV ads. Accumulated volume looks like it wants to go higher. I agree, Dunsworth. If you drag your stop from the order bar, it will auto-update the number of contract. If I do what? If you drag your stop from the order bar. No, so I can't. When I understand what you're saying. So I can't do that when you're using a Trade-of-8's. For whatever reason, when I use Trade-of-8, I can't do that. I don't know why. Maybe I'm missing something, and I don't know. What do you use for your broker, Dunsworth? I would like overnight highs as well, Ted. Charles, good morning. Alkai, good morning. Glad to have you here. We're currently 1 for 1 on the day. See how it's respecting this fair value gap and the new week opening gap from the 20th, new day opening gap, I should say. I do think that the low of the new week opening gap sitting right here is going to be hit. I just don't know when. We did sweep these equal highs, so there could be reason to go lower right now. I'm just looking at, I'm playing order flow. That's what I'm looking at, is order flow. Based on order flow, it's 50-50 from right here. I want to see this respected to move higher, but if it's disrespected, we run this low resistance liquidity, this data low, we fill the rest of this opening range gap, and we hit the new week opening gap low. That's how I see it. Broker I trade and NT. I don't know what NT is. Paper trading. Oh, yes. If you do paper trading on TradingView, yes, 100% it works. It's amazing. It's super nice. I would love that feature with connecting to Tradevate, but it just doesn't work. Yeah, so it works with NinjaTrader. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't do NinjaTrader. I did TradingView, and I kind of moved everything to TradingView. Now I really don't want to move it anywhere. Because moving money around and moving accounts is annoying, and during tax season, then you just got to remember all the places you moved it to. And I don't like tax season. You want to know the most I've ever paid in taxes? Nas is disgusting. Most I've ever paid in taxes just for that did it include me? I think it was, yeah, that was both of us. It's $49,000. $49,000. Literally, I think I spend more time trying to figure out how do I avoid taxes than anything else. I'm marking this because look at these bodies, how they respected this after this initial purge into the new day opening gap here. Then we respected this. We got a 30-second that has a here. Interesting. So if we close above this 30-second fair value gap, it's nice, but it only works if we have a draw to move higher. Because we just created this and it was a key level. So it's very problematic to want to take a long towards a swing high that already hit a key level that was just recently done, 10 minutes ago. That makes it very hard to want to do. Now, if we reject like this, this makes this very nice, in my opinion. I would be more interested in a rejection than I would in going long. We got a 30-second fair value gap here. It's just, do you guys see how it's hard? I feel like I'm almost trying to force structure to form. It's like I'm trying to pull it out of the crappy price action that I'm seeing. I would just wait. That's really what I'm getting at, is waiting. Now, if we wick up into this first fair value gap, we close here, wick up, and then reject it, I would look at that as a short. That also would be a breaker. No, that's not a breaker. That's a mitigation block. So we closed inside the fair value gap. That's not what I was looking for. Wicks are horrible, Deborah. They are horrible. Now, this looks more interesting to go long. Do you see how this looks way more interesting to go long? We wicked lower, respected this, left a fair value gap. If we close above it on the 1 minute, that would be interesting. But I do not want it to hit this high. Here's why I'm a little annoyed. That's where I would move my stop to break even. That was my break even point. So I would have wanted to take the trade here, get in somewhere around there. And as soon as we hit this high, my stop would be moved to break even. But we already broke the high. So there's no entry. There's no entry because we already swept the high. And look, I would have been stopped out at break even. I wanted to take it towards this level, not from this level. This is gonna probably make it this. I mean, momentum and order flow tells me we're running back up here. And if we don't, this is crappy price action. This is a very obvious key signature in price. We break, we purge the lows, we respect a key level, we should. 95% confident we'll run these highs. If it doesn't, that's when it's like, wow. Do not trade this crap. That's what it's saying. It doesn't mean that we don't have big wicks lower either. These wicks are hard to trade. What do we got? I'm looking at the 15-minute on another chart, or another to my left here. I like this 15-minute here. This has overlapping PD arrays. I like this level here, up here. If we're gonna run to a level, that's where I'd want to target. It has a breaker and an order block that we would be running into. So I think that's what I would be interested in. It's 9:03. I do have to leave early today, folks. I'm going to have to be done. Excuse me, it's 10:03. I'm going to have to leave at 10:45 today. I have some people that moved from Italy to Nebraska, and they bought a house while they're in Italy, and they just got in town yesterday from traveling across the world. And I'm going to meet them to make sure they sign all their papers so they can get into their home. So I'm going to have to leave a little sooner than I want, but at least we got a trade in so far today. If there's another obvious entry, I will take it, but I'm not going to force anything. This is what we got to avoid. We got to avoid forcing trades. You know, I want to modify what I said earlier. I think I was a little too, what would I say? I don't have the words for it. Technically, once you hit this high right here that I outlined, price does, in as far as I read it in order flow, has permission to run the other way. Now, I mentioned that this here gives me a very strong indication we should run higher, and I still think that's going to happen. If it doesn't, I still call it bad price action, but it would be following the algorithmic patterns of running for liquidity and then either consolidating, moving higher, or reversing, which is all allowable. But I'm telling you, based on how many times I've seen this, this should run higher. And so far, it's been respecting the midpoint of this fair value gap. Let's see if it continues to do that or not. But I'm just not liking overall the price action. Look at this straight consolidation. You know, to be honest, here's our 9:30 opening price. I'm still 50-50 on where my manipulation is. Could it have been down here? Maybe. Could it have been here? Maybe. I have reason for higher. I have reason for lower. That's our first close above this 30-second. This, I don't count that as a close. It like teleported there and closed lower. So based on us closing here, I'd say that would be an entry towards this high. Let's see if it actually gives it to us. I don't like this close here. That's a nasty close, to be honest. This volume imbalance, or this fair value gap here, seeing this could be manipulation and we could aggressively move lower. I like that as well. And that did close there, so it invalidates this move higher. But it's still in all of this consolidation, so it's nothing that we would want to touch anyway. Yeah, so let's get rid of that because that was invalid. This still is in play. That trade, initial trade off of this candle right here at 10:01. Still being respected. There's that. Let's see if we get a close below this first. We hit the equal highs a second time. I'm watching this. If we can close below it and it not just give me a large candle way down here, but if we can close it relatively around here, you know, below the new day opening gap, if we can get below that, we can find resistance moving back up into it. I would look at that as a potential move to the downside. I would be interested in that. Here's a breaker right here at 930. Let's see if 930 rejects. High, low, higher high, lower. Price comes back up into that level. Let's see if it wants to reject it or not. Now, this is all 50-50. I'm reading price action, but you need to understand, look at what's to the left. We're in all of this crap. This is not price action where you're going to get high probability order flow. The only high probability you're going to get is it's going back and forth and violating all of these PD arrays. Why? Because it's in consolidation. Keywords. When it's in consolidation, it does crap. Waiting is not fun. I mean, I'm seeing the viewer count drop from, we had about 26 people here at the peak. We haven't taken a single trade. We've been sitting here watching price just go back and forth, and we've lost several people. This is the hardest part of trading, is this patience, patiently waiting for the market to present something that's real. Not manipulative, not fake, real. This is the hardest part of all of this. And you notice that the only trade that actually had some distance on it was the trade I took. And I took it a little prematurely, anticipating we were going to get that move. Right here. This is the only thing we have seen so far today, and it's the only trade we've taken. It's not made up. This stuff is it takes time to just be patient and let things play out. I feel that's too big. I want to get smaller here. One thing I would add to that, Charles. The word is eventually. Patience pays eventually. Because you have to be patient to receive it. Anyway, I cracked myself up. Look how many times we've rejected this key level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we close below it, that will be a short. Let's see what we get here. It is not 10:14. I think this could be it. Let's see where it closes. I'm not taking anything prematurely. All right, I'm taking a short there. I want to see it find resistance in all these 3 PD arrays right there. I want it to find resistance there, and I want it to run to the data low and ideally the new week opening gap low. New week opening gap low is at 20,016. You can see the position I'm in right here. So this is the level I want to go for. We didn't hit this level here yet. That's when stop will be moved to break even. I'll take 2 off there when we get it. And then I'll hold the rest with a stop to break even. Come on. I know I have this here. We could reach all the way up to this fair value gap. Let's see if it wants to run. Come on, boys. Let's go. Still respecting the new day and the first fair value gap. We're still respecting, haven't closed above it. That's very important. I am watching this, and let me jump over to the other screen here. I'm watching, I just moved up my stop loss. I'm watching this fair value gap right here, because it could reach up into that and reach the 930 price and still close below, and it did. I like that. Watching the midpoint of this candle right here. I want to see if we can stay below this midpoint. That's what I'm looking for. 30 seconds left on that candle. Okay, so there's 930, and then there's the fair value gap. I'm wanting it to reject there. Doesn't look like I'm not liking that. That's a very strong candle. I'm gonna make sure my stop loss is ready to go. And there is my stop. All right, it stabbed me out. It basically, oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay. For whatever reason, it wasn't copied. That's nice. All right, 1 for 1, 1 for 2, guys. Now, the interesting thing here is that when we close below this, we should have ran at least this low, and that's why I was targeting that low. And it didn't give it to us. We must want to go higher. Let's see here. Yeah, Adzi, this is the sessions here. This is nasty. All of this is in consolidation here. These are the days you have to be able to avoid. And be patient, waiting for, you know, that nice setup. Nothing's nice about today. This is nasty. I honestly was truly convinced that this was going to be it. Because we closed below these PD arrays and just didn't give it to us. I mean, I'm not mad about that trade either. I would have taken that any other day. Now we have all these equal highs here. Wouldn't surprise me if we run them. That's a nice candle. Let's see if that, we should get that candle to push a little higher. No wick. If it just rejects right here, that's more of an entry. Now, one thing I want you guys to see here that's very interesting is look at this candle at 1022. This is a signature and price I look for, okay? We have obviously these swing highs right here. I took a long and I sold it on this push right here. But look at this candle here. Look how it has absolutely no wick. And immediately when we opened the next candle, we opened lower. We just wicked lower and we were sitting down here. I got in here knowing that we were going to run this high. Two reasons why. One, we had liquidity here, and two, there was absolutely no wick. And typically when there's no wick, the next candle will fill that area. I don't have the science behind this. I just see it too often to know. That will be ran. So got in here, sold it for 10 handles in a matter of a second. So that recovered my loss from the last trade that I made. So basic, and I know I didn't call it just simply because this is not one of those trades I teach. So that makes me what, 2 for 3 today. And to be honest, with how choppy and nasty the session is, I'm partial to just leaving the morning session be. I mean, do you see how we just wick above this and now are moving the other direction? I'm not a fan of days like these. To be honest, I only got about 15 more minutes anyway, and then I have to leave. We'll hang out here. We'll hang out here for a little bit. Now, normally I would say I like this, but I'm not going to say that. Normally I would say I like this. I'm not going to. Because I don't like any of the price action we've been seeing. So this is something I would pass on. And I don't even care if it runs 100 points from that point. I won't do it. There's better days to trade, folks. Better days. Better days. I like the rejection of this 930 price here and then moved higher. We didn't even reach up into the 15-minute fair value gap that I said as for a potential high target. We didn't even reach up to there. What did we actually grab? Okay, we did reach into a lower 15 minute that's sitting right here. There's a 5 minute. We have this order block here, but I was really reaching into this one because of this. Because of this high, low, higher, high. This is a breaker. So that's kind of the a higher time frame target that I'm looking at. So I could see it reach up into this 15 minute and then make our move lower. That's reasonable. More than likely, here's going to be our close below this. We're going to watch it, not trade it. The target would be this swing low here. Now the thing about it is, if that works, then that means potentially the next inversion fair value gap may work. But I'm not going to take the first one when so many others have been disappointing. Because of the type of price action we're seeing, all this consolidation and choppy price action, we're still inside this range. It's like we're tight, baby. This is tight price action. Now, you're watching this green candle. Don't you kind of feel good that you didn't take it? I do. That just invalidated it right there. Closed position, loss. That makes me appreciate being patient. That would have been a 11 handle loss. Main reasons why I waited was look left. It is inside of all of this. ICT Silver Bullet, Ted, is based out of a market maker sell and buy model. Do you see a market maker sell or buy model here? I personally don't, and I could be missing it, but I don't. The only thing we could potentially be doing is we're in a stage 2 distribution, meaning we get consolidation before the flush lower. If you look at the 15 minute, it potentially could be there. So this could be the market maker sell model here. Once you have your first purge lower, you get consolidation before your second run lower. That could be potentially what we could see. If that's the case, I still like this 15 minute sitting up here at the breaker as an area for rejection to move lower, because we're making all of this low resistance liquidity sitting right here that we will end up running most likely, with the new week opening gap not being filled yet at all since its inception. So taking a short here I think is premature. Waiting until we get somewhere up here, and ideally when we get up here it's between 10:45 and 11:15, and then we see something like this. That is something I would be interested in. Well, you need so he doesn't directly say it, Ted. But if you listen to many of his other sessions, he talks about how the market maker sell and buy model, everything is based out of that context. All his PD arrays, all his setups are based out of a market maker buy and sell model. So if you're not in and you can't identify the market maker sell model, the question is that a high probability silver bullet? And I would submit to you that it would not be a high probability silver bullet. And I think it needs to be based out of the context of a market maker buy and sell model. Right now, I see straight consolidation on a lower time frame. On a higher time frame, I see a breaker. This is our low resistance or low risk entry. We get our first purge lower. And then we have, this is the accumulation of stage 2 for the move lower, which we could be in. So if we are going to see lower prices, it's usually after this consolidation for stage 2, and then we'll purge lower. I just don't know when that's going to happen, because it's that second purge is always after a period of consolidation. When it starts running, it will be violent. It will be violent. And the hard part is you got to wait for the close, because how many times did we think it was here? For example, right here, we see this big down closed candle, and then before it closes green. This is why you have to wait for the close of a candle to get a better idea of what's going on with price. All right, I'm looking for this to be a change in state of delivery right there. That's what I would want. Unfortunately, that's pretty low in everything, but I want to see a 5-minute close. Well, that's not the 5-minute. That's a 15-minute. I still think that would be the level. We could probably get away with this. Let's do that one. Let's see if this turns into a change in state of delivery here. So we got 3 minutes left on that candle. So I'm putting these reference points for you guys to keep track of. We did close below this fair value gap. Let's see, 13 seconds, what do we do? But this is all crappy price action that we've been talking about staying out of. Liquidity ran here. I still like this idea to play out. Folks, so I'm going to leave you guys with this. I'm thinking this is the target high. This is the manipulation for a move lower, at least to the new week opening gap low, and filling in the volume or the opening range gap. I think that's going to be my target. I'm not going to be able to be in front of the charts. I'm going to be heading out here. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I will try to be on tomorrow. Tuesdays are my difficult day. I tend to sneak away and able to get on many times, but sometimes I can't. So for sure Wednesday, hopefully tomorrow. If you guys like this commentary that I've been giving you, please do me a solid, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to start your funded journey, you can do so using Apex with the discount code DTJ. No cost to you. It actually saves you 80%. And it's a free way to support the channel because I do not monetize this channel as of yet. I do not monetize this channel. I do have super chats on here, but they're... I thought I was going to, honestly, I thought I was going to be able to make my own stickers, and that's what I thought I was going to be able to do. And I wanted to do some cool, you know, trading stickers that people could post, and you can't do that. So monetized that aspect of it for no apparent reason. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys here soon. God bless. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.